Today or Bahamas.com. I'm Michael Miller, and this is Tourism Today.
Those youngsters of the King's Trust about the values of the good old days. Can't wait for that.
And our Lloyd Allen brings us up to date on a much-needed upgrade to UB's music department.
Plus, the Humane Society speaks to delinquent dog owners. Yes, dog owners, get your act together.
And coming up in sports, BAISS soccer champs kickoff at the Roscoe Davies soccer pitch.
The Bahamas Tonight Access Now starts now.
Good evening, everyone. I'm LaDawn Davis.
And I'm Marlena Leonard. Welcome to the Bahamas Tonight Access Now.
Well, Marlena, Parliament was hot, hot, hot today. What do you say?
Yes, indeed. And our counterparts who go ahead of us carried that story.
Indeed, they did. Nothing to see here and definitely nothing to talk about. So let's dive right into the news, shall we? Who better to advise youth leaders on how to mold the next generation than our head of state, Governor General, Her Excellency Dame Cynthia Pratt. Still affectionately known as Mother, she has created opportunities for many young people to obtain tertiary education and has supported a plethora of youth programs. Speaking at the King's Trust International Bahamas Youth Sector Conference, which wrapped up at Breezes Resort today, she shared how the morals and values of yesteryear are so important for the youth of today. Felicity Darville tells us more.
The magic of a peaceful and prosperous Bahamas must be built on the firm foundation laid by our ancestors, one in which manners and respect were the order of the day. Governor General, Her Excellency the Most Honorable Dame Cynthia Pratt, said in her day they did not have technology, but they had family and each other.
We grew up hard. We had little to no distraction during my day. iPad and mobile devices were not existent during my time. Our parents were not as educated and exposed as the parents of today. But they cared and always wanted us to receive a good, sound education. Many in my generation studied with the aid of kerosene or candlelight. Proudly, though, we were children of integrity. We had principles and we had values. We upheld the standards of decency and honesty.
Dame Cynthia said the children of yesteryear were dressed appropriately at all times, went to church, and lived by the principles they were taught.
I intentionally mention my experiences as a child because it is critical for today's youth to understand that this was the heart of our upbringing, which was the highest standards. There was no compromise in this regard.
Today's youth, she said, has to deal with climate change and artificial intelligence. But if they lean on good old-fashioned values, their bright minds and willing hearts will prevail. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Felicity Darville.
Thanks, Felicity. Well, the University of the Bahamas, a towering center for education in the country, but as told by our Lloyd Allen in this next report, a new level of growth may be the missing link to help the School of Music generate further advancements.
The music program at the University of the Bahamas, electively one of the most popular programs among alumnus like myself. But since my days at the university, the H block remaining an eyesore on campus remains in dire need of resources. And despite that, continues to produce students of exceptional ability.
I intend to grow this department with mainly using my platform, which is Just Vibe. It's a platform that inspires and motivates artistic expression through music.
Second-year music major Christian Thompson is one of just over 50 students who utilize the music block daily. And with a number of courses attached to the program, facilitating all students is becoming increasingly difficult.
What we have are incredibly talented, driven students. We also have a wonderful faculty that works really hard. What we don't have are adequate practice facilities.
Dr. Curtis Streetman is a new addition to the music department and is hoping for an expansion of facilities.
Sometimes we get to use the Performing Arts Center, but we need something that we have control over so that these students can grow into world-class artists that experience and provide artistry performing in worthwhile spaces. Right now we kind of scramble in this room or that room, or maybe this church or that church, or we did a concert at the baseball stadium, and we're grateful to have those resources at our disposal. But we need something more in-house for the continued growth of the students.
Associate Professor Christian Justilian says over the past 25 years, numbers have continued to climb, and with several ensembles and other groups conducting concerts and other performances, getting more legroom is now more than a desire, but instead a necessity. He adds even finding space for instruments like the piano remains a struggle.
We just got another piano donated. We've had over the years maybe 2 or 3 pianos donated. We have pianos that we can't put on the line because we don't have the rooms and the space to put those pianos, and they're desperately needed since every student have to play the piano.
Justilian and others are hoping that the celebration of culture and Bahamian pride are enough to generate a new thrust toward a larger space. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Lloyd Allen.
Thanks a lot, Lloyd. Well, the rate of value-added tax was slashed by half on certain food items yesterday. This was done to assist Bahamians who may have had a hard time grappling with the high cost of living. And even though this adjustment has meant lots of preparation for businesses like SuperValue, the company's president, Deborah Simonet, says it is delightful to see customers get some financial relief.
No, we just thank God that the government is doing this because we're so happy for our customers. Our customers all are always ready for a nice decrease in prices, and this is going to help them to take their budget further.
Sharon Roll is one of many customers thrilled about the new VAT rate.
Because we didn't need that, you know. Some people didn't have it and was not, but thank God. God is good. All the time, we pray and God deliver. Amen for that. Hallelujah.
Well, dogs are supposed to be a man's best friend, but lately there's been an increase in the number of irresponsible dog owners allowing their pets to roam the streets malnourished and in need of medical care. As we observe Animal Cruelty Month, shelter manager of the Bahamas Humane Society, Percy Grant, is encouraging Bahamians to be sure they're fully committed to providing pets with the best care possible before choosing to adopt.
The complaints of animal cruelty is increasing daily. People call, I mean, every single day. We have 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 cases of people calling in of various animal cruelty, people tying dogs on short chains, no shelter, no water, no food. They go inside and watch TV in an air condition. And so we know we have a mental problem here too. We have the whole society seems to be, I don't know, somewhat, I don't know if it was COVID, but there was a big breakdown mentally from the things and the actions that the Humane Society see.
The large number of stray dogs wandering around on our streets could also have a rippling effect on the way tourists view our country. But Grant says before that happens, he hopes that the animal laws are strictly enforced.
We had the enactment of the Veterinary Act, remember, which was passed, and in that act, it also talked about citations that was in the AG's office, and we are still waiting. They were supposed to be from the AG's office now and on the commissioner's desk, the previous commissioner, and we're hoping that they would do these citations, and meaning I should say to use the word citation more American, more ticketing, where people be fined for various infractions of animal cruelty and animal abuse.
Still to come, well, it's Wednesday, and I'm sure you know what that means. It's time for Leno's Wealthwise, all the financial help you can get. Stay close.
Help your business and communication with parents, students, and staff in seconds with a live business bulk SMS messaging. This is the perfect tool to keep you connected and easily send important updates, event reminders, and emergency alerts. Keep your campus informed and connected with bulk SMS messaging from a live business. The right choice for fast, reliable communication. For more information, contact the experts.
Welcome back. Our drone pilot Neville Big Nev Smith is out there flying in the Clifton Pier area. Beautiful scene there, Nev. He's captured Sacred Spaces, the artwork of Antonius Roberts, one of the best multimedia artists in the Bahamas. Clifton Pier also has some of the deepest waters in the country. Just breathtaking. But don't get too carried away there, because we're due for a trip to Eleuthera. Let's go.
Prioritizing inclusive, sustainable growth is the theme for this year's Eleuthera Business Outlook, all set for Eleuthera's Business Hub in Rock Sound tomorrow. Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation and Deputy Prime Minister, the Honorable Chester Cooper, will be leading the cadre of speakers on the agenda. Spearheaded by the Councillors Limited, the 2025 Eleuthera Business Outlook aligns with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals that are expected to be realized by 2030. For Eleuthera Chamber of Commerce President Thomas Sands, it catapults the island's business sector.
The Outlook series has become an opportunity, I think, to bring recognition to Eleuthera, to bring the players to us, to bring the subject matter to Eleuthera, to encourage investors, local businesses, persons who are thinking about coming home, to be in a space and engage. And this year we have the DPM present, talking about things like infrastructure, real estate, business opportunities, the number of government agencies as well coming to speak in terms of their various departments. But to bring that discussion in context of Eleuthera and what is happening in Eleuthera and where the opportunities.
This year's Business Conclave will be held for 2 days. Thursday's meeting in Rock Sound, South Eleuthera, and at the Valentine's Resort in Harbour Island, North Eleuthera on Friday. The Chamber President hopes this move can attract even more business opportunities for Eleuthera.
After you live here and understand where you're at, you begin to understand the importance of all of us together and the participation of all us together. And, we as Bahamians tend to get caught in our little circle. But the economy, first of all, the economy of the Bahamas is bigger than Nassau. And then when you get into the Family Islands, the economy of Eleuthera, and if we go through the line, is the cruise industry, the high-end resorts, the golf resorts, the vacation rentals, the fishing industry, the farming industry. It's a multitude of different activities, but they make the whole, and it's very important that we discuss that.
Abnormalities and developmental disorders like autism should not be looked at as bad by the public or as a death sentence by parents, but instead just different. During a sit-down with Danielle Dean, a local physician passionate about getting this message across, talks more about the condition.
In her 10 years of testing children for autism, pediatric consultant and clinical director of Kids First Pediatrics, Dr. Deshawn Saunders, sees the need for more local attention on the neurological and developmental disorder.
A few years ago, when I had a child that came, he could not talk, and, everybody was concerned, is he deaf? And I realized that, hey, this is something that I really need to go into.
Contrary to what some might believe, according to Dr. Saunders, autism cannot be detected internally. But there are also, she says, a number of external telltale signs.
Some kids may have a delay in speech, meaning that they can't talk. Some kids can talk, but their language may be repetitive, so they may repeat everything that you say. Or some kids, they can talk, but their intonation is different. So whether they talk like a character, or they talk like they're from England or from the U.S., and so that's the language aspect of it. Socially, some of our kids may not play with other children, so they prefer to be alone. Some kids have texture issues, so they may want to just walk up to you and touch you.
This means if the signs aren't explicit, it's more difficult, requiring that much more work to detect, even for parents.
It's a lot of emotions because it's hard when a kid is not typical, so meaning, of course, you expect for your kid to walk, run, play with other kids.
A pill that's tough to swallow. Some parents even noticing abnormal behavior from their kids, but still in denial.
What I always say to my parents, the earlier we can diagnose a kid, the earlier you can put in intervention. All right, when a kid is younger, their brain is plastic and so it's moldable. But as a kid gets older, they get set in their ways, they get set in their activities, and a lot of times it's harder to change.
Autism awareness activities continue this evening with the Lighted Up Blue ceremony in Rawson Square. Reporting for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Danielle Dean.
Great story there, Danielle. Well, building wealth isn't just about present. It's also about securing a legacy for future generations. Tonight, we explore how trust can be designed to support multiple generations while maintaining financial security. Here's Diane Dorset.
A well-structured trust can protect assets, provide for loved ones, and even adapt to changes in the family's needs over time. A key advantage of a trust is that it can be designed to provide long-term financial security for multiple generations. Sharon Colberg, Managing Director of Leno Trust, explains how this is done.
A trust can be structured to ensure that your assets last through generations with careful, proper planning. What a trustee would do is bring in the investment manager, and together we would formulate a plan, a proposal to make sure that the assets are not only growing, but it's going to endure for generations.
One of the biggest concerns in multi-generational planning is ensuring that funds are used wisely. Colberg says some key safeguards can be built into a trust to prevent reckless spending.
Every beneficiary is going to be different. Some beneficiaries are going to be responsible and they're able to take their distributions in full. Some beneficiaries will require that we have intermittent payments. Those we will do to ensure that the trust lasts as long as possible through generations.
But what happens when family dynamics change? Can a trust adjust to new circumstances over time?
First of all, during the lifetime of the settlor, we can amend, we can make changes, we can ensure that trusts meet their needs. What we do is we meet regularly with our clients so that we ensure that the trust is benefiting the needs that they have. As family dynamics change, the trustee can move and make sure that the trust is working with the family.
From wealth preservation to responsible financial management and adaptability, trusts provide a powerful tool for securing a family's legacy. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Diane Dorset.
Thanks a lot, Diane. It's always good to hear from our friends at Leno. Let's take a look at what's coming up in sports.
Game 1 of the BAISS Soccer Championships kicking off at the Roscoe Davies Soccer Field. Details of that story and more coming up in sports.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home health care supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price. And you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
Welcome to your Wednesday Sports Check, everyone. I'm Amajal Knowles, topping sports. The private school soccer stars taking to the pitch on Tuesday for Game 1s of the BAISS Soccer Championships. Our Eugene Stewart roaming the sidelines over at the Roscoe Davies Soccer Field and lets us know who picked up some pivotal Game 1 victories.
The BAISS Soccer Championships in the junior division getting underway yesterday at the Roscoe Davies Soccer Field. First matchup for the girls featured Windsor School and the Comets of Queens College. From the opening kick, Windsor would hold the Comets to strong defense as they worked their offense. At the half, Windsor would hold the Comets to a strong 4-0 lead as they continued to dominate. Isabel Kennedy would have herself a game as Windsor would secure this one 8-0.
I was not expecting that, but I'm really glad with how I did, and I'm really happy. I'm proud of my team, and I'm really happy that we have won this year.
Head coach Katie Roach says this one was a long time coming.
It's once in a lifetime, I think. I mean, I hope it happens again. I mean, that's the goal. But we celebrate all wins, the small wins, the big wins, and we use that as motivation moving forward. Just want to say this was 3 years in the making. Congratulations to QC. We lost to them 3 years ago. We didn't make championships last year, and this year we brought it home, so I'm very proud of the girls.
On the boys' side, the Lifer Key Dragons took on the St. Andrews Hurricanes. This one was all about hustle from the opening kick. As St. Andrews looked to find their mark, the Dragons would draw first blood and continued their lead at 2 goals at halftime. Looking to rally back from the deficit, the Hurricanes continued to fight, but the Dragons would conquer the Storm 5-0. Head coach Daniel Waitman on his squad's performance.
Always awesome to win a championship. These boys played really well today. It was a decisive win, and you don't always get that in a championship. So a lot of kids, all the kids, every single player contributed to the win today and getting us this far. So really proud of the boys.
Leader of the pack, Dirk Simmons, says it was all a team effort.
It wasn't just me, it was my teammates. They gave me the opportunities to go and goal and just score, so it's a big thanks to them. Me and the boys, we played great. We played good football, and I think we really deserved it.
Senior girls and boys championship action continues on Thursday. Reporting for ZNS Total Sports, I'm Eugene Stewart.
And that's when we look at your sports on this Wednesday. A check on weather when we return.
While others see customers as numbers, we see our customers as people, neighbors, friends who deserve more than one-sided connections. That's why we are redefining what real connection is by prioritizing our customers and showing our appreciation by putting our money where your loyalty is. BTC customers, claim your $200 Bahamas Air gift card when you add postpaid mobile to your internet plan. That's loyalty that flows both ways.
It's time now for your Access Weather Forecast. An area of high pressure has rebuilt across the islands, and that results in a return of the breezy conditions, which will be with us for several more days. Now, your boating forecast tonight is brought to you by Live Business, where we bulk up your business. For the Northwest Bahamas, tonight through Thursday, the winds are going to be southeast at 12 to 18 knots. The wave height 3 to 6 feet. Your high tide, that will take place at 16 minutes past midnight, with a low tide at 6:49 tomorrow morning. And for the central and southeastern islands tonight and Thursday, southeast winds at 15 to 25 knots, very rough seas at 5 to 8 feet over the ocean. So we have an advisory in place for boaters in the central and southeastern islands. And then on Friday in the northwestern islands, no change there. We continue with that southeast flow at 12 to 18 knots. The wave height 3 to 6 feet. So caution flags are in place for the northwest Bahamas. High tide on Friday, that will take place at 7:53 in the morning with a low tide at 1:44 in the afternoon. And for the central and southeastern islands, a slight reduction in the winds, southeast at 15 to 20 knots, the wave height subsiding 4 to 7 feet. So we'll also maintain caution flags for the central and southeastern islands on Friday. That's going to do it for your boating forecast. It's time now for your international temperatures, and they're brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
When she calling, no slapping, I tell her I coming now. She's keep up about 1,000 inside a bra. She want a young man come and grab that angel like her. I think she graduate with my mom. But when she calling, no slapping, I tell her I coming now.
And that's going to do it for your international temperatures, brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But join me at 11 o'clock for full weather update. LaDawn and Malina.
Thanks a lot, Basil. What's up next, Marlena?
Well, let's take a look at Let's Talk Socials with our Matea Cunningham.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Socials, where we break down the trending topics and give you the real tea, straight, no chaser. And today, social media is in an uproar because gospel legend and pastor Marvin Sapp is facing some serious backlash. If you haven't seen the clip yet, let me set the scene.
There's 1,000 of you. I said close them doors. Ushers, close the doors. Close the doors. We all gonna leave together. Y'all ain't going no place but to the restaurant. I'm challenging each of you all down here to give a $20 seed.
Yes, you heard that right. Marvin Sapp was at the 109th Pentecostal Assemblies of the World Convention in Baltimore when he asked for a whopping $40,000 in donations, breaking it down to $20 from 1,000 people in person and 1,000 watching online. But the real controversy, he instructed those ushers to close the door. Check out some reactions shared on digital platforms.
Ushers, close the doors. Close the doors.
Excuse me, I gotta go.
Close the doors.
Excuse me, I gotta go.
Y'all ain't going no place but to the restaurant.
Listen, I know you in the church and you doing your ushering thing, but if you don't move out my way, I'm gonna usher you right up to Jesus.
Others defended Sapp, saying that biblical fundraising is nothing new and that this is just how conferences cover costs. But let's talk about what Sapp himself had to say. According to him, closing the doors was about keeping a reverent atmosphere and ensuring security during giving. So the question is, was this just a pastor doing what pastors do, or was this a little too aggressive? And that's all for today on Let's Talk Socials. Until tomorrow, keep scrolling.
Boy, what a story there, Matea. That does it for Access Now for tonight, Malena.
Well, join us tomorrow at 7:30 for more Access Now. But for now, stay tuned for the rundown with Clint Watson.
Good night, everybody.
Hey, what's up, Mario?
Hey, Dale, what's going on?